Here we go.
Here it goes.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we're jumping back into r/NeckbeardStories. Actually, it comes from my personal subreddit, r/ReddX reads. Woodsy, user Little Ann Woods, my goodness, has been quite busy. A couple of sagas posted that just kind of slipped under my nose. I didn't even notice them, sorry to say, but they seem to be extremely well written, and we've got room for some new sagas now, so I am exceedingly interested with what has been posted, and we will get into it. The first one is like a little two-parter. I'm gonna shove all of that into this video. It's about a game shop, Neckbeard, and then we've got another one about Lamentations of Lavender and Villainy, and that looks to be a bit longer, a bit more substantial. I also wanted to mention that we are having an art contest in the Discord server, trying to get a Discord banner together. So if you've got something that fits with the theme of the channel and would make a lovely banner, then please head on over to the Discord. Link is in the description. With that said, we will get some more plugs and some disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some Game Shop Neckbeard cringe. Hi everyone, I'm a big fan of the r/Tales of Neckbeard subreddit. Well, you're in good company, aren't you? This is my daily enjoyment, either reading the stories here or listening to them on ReddX. I put this post on the site, but then I was listening to ReddX, who reminded me that there is an actual ReddX subreddit, and I thought that I would amuse you as well. Well, I do appreciate that. I've been pretty shameless with the plugs about my subreddit. I should probably slow it down because we've got so many stories coming in that I need to get through. Anyways, it's my first time posting, and English is not my first language, so I'm sorry if I make some spelling or formatting errors. Also, sorry for the long post. Never apologize. We're gonna fix it in editing. Don't you worry. TLDR, which usually goes at the end, but we're rolling with it. 33-year-old Neckbeard waits until my boyfriend goes downstairs, corners me in his anime room, and pressures me, a 16-year-old, into a hug before he allows me to leave. Oh god, major creep vibes in this one. What the hell? What's an anime room? I guess there's more questions that need answering than just that. Anyways, the cast. OP, a very, very young-looking 16-year-old. Boyfriend, not really very relevant to the story, but he did introduce me to Neckbeard. Oh boy, birds of a feather. You gotta watch that guy. Neckbeard, the 33-year-old Neckbeard that ran the game shop in the basement of my country's version of Blockbuster. Bro, your country still has Blockbusters? What? I'm gonna head on over. I'm gonna rent Titanic for the 5th time. Probably rent Titanic for my wife, and Braveheart for me, and then that's the whole day spent. Thank you, Blockbuster. But I digress. Okay, so first of all, let me give you some information about myself. At the moment, I'm a 28-year-old woman. However, apparently I look anywhere between 15 and 19, depending on who you ask. I'm 5 feet tall, with ever-changing hair and skin that glows in the dark. I am, and always have been, Neckbeard bait. Although this will be my first post, if there's any interest in my posts, I'll tell you more tales of horror for your enjoyment. Oh, you already know the answer to that one. Always looking forward to more. Now to set the scene. At the time of this story, I was a 16-year-old girl, but given the fact that I only look that age now more than 10 years later, you can imagine just how childish I looked when I was actually 16. Usually people thought me to be anywhere between 10 and 13, which makes this story even creepier. I'd fallen into the weeb trap. And to this day, I am so very happy that Facebook wasn't a thing back then. Oh, preach. I embarrassed myself on like Zanga and MySpace, but those all went poof. And thank God that they did, because OP was the living embodiment of an anime girl. I mean, the hair clips, the schoolgirl outfit, and yes, sometimes the cat ears. Luckily for me, there is no photographic evidence of this dark anime kawaii shit show that was my behavior and appearance at the time. However, I found myself a boyfriend that didn't mind me looking so young, and didn't give them the feeling that they were a pedo, something a former boyfriend actually said to me. Oh, this is such a mess already, dude. Oh, God. My boyfriend at the time was 3 years older than me and very autistic. He had one friend, the game shop Neckbeard. I mean, this was over a decade ago, so I assume that you're not still with this guy now, right? Because there's quite possibly a reason that he didn't mind you looking so young, right? Am I alone in this? Oh, God. I can't think about it too much. I'd seen him a few times before when I went to the store to buy some games with my sibling, and that guy had always given me the creeps. Neckbeard was very tall, thin, balding, like Nosferatu looking dude. His skin added to his vampiric look. The sun had obviously never once laid its rays on his fair, gray skin. And this coming from a girl that gets a second-degree burn in the shade. He also smelled like he slept in a coffin, in a graveyard, that was built on a waste disposal site, which was flooded with sewage. Yeah, that poopy smell. You want to buy games from the poopy man? The shop was in a literal basement, and girls really were a rarity, which isn't surprising. Anytime I dared venture into this den of sweat, misery, and steel, I was either followed by random people that wanted to see what I was going to buy, quizzed on the knowledge of the game that I was holding because girls don't play games, or guided to the cutesy girl games in the corner by the employees. Safe to say, I did not go there very often. And the reason for that is pretty obvious. I don't understand why it's so hard for beards to treat a lady like a person. You know, person first, lady second. It's not that hard. Anyways, on to the actual meat of the story. Boyfriend had invited me to come with him to his friend's house. I stupidly agreed to this and went into the den of the beard. Honestly, the downstairs of this wannabe Edward Cullen was pristine. It did have the mandatory pair of katanas on the wall, and every possible game console in existence plugged into a teeny tiny TV, but honestly, it was pretty cool. We played some Scott Pilgrim, talked about games, and had a really nice time. He did keep staring at me, but I thought maybe he was just pretty socially awkward. Eventually, he decided to give me the tour of the upstairs rooms. He had a tiny bedroom which was covered in anime posters and figurines, and I really do mean covered. They were everywhere. On the walls, the floors, his bed sheets, and all of them were lollies. Oh God. From bad, just nosedive directly into worse. Right next to his bedroom, he had a much larger room, which was filled top to bottom with manga and anime. I was in heaven, and was way too naive to see anything wrong with the amount of lolly manga, posters, and figurines. I was an innocent, wee little child. Boyfriend had gone downstairs by then, not really being interested in manga in the least, and I was left alone with this Walking Dead looking garbage bag. And this is about the point where I start to wonder why the boyfriend is even friends with this dude in the first place. I guess they connect on video games more than like the manga and anime thing. Anyways, this was the first time I began to feel uncomfortable. While I was eagerly looking through the mangas, he kept getting closer and closer, asking me about my likes and dislikes. How long have my boyfriend and I been together? What kind of games did I play? Would I cosplay or this or that character? When he got too close, I put the manga back on the shelf and walked directly to the door. He got there before me, though, and blocked the exit. See, it's about this moment where I am extremely glad that the TLDR was at the beginning, and I know that it doesn't get too bad. Otherwise, I would be freaking out at this point in the story. Like, what the actual hell? It is bad, but thank God it does not get completely terrible. He asked me what I was doing with a Chad, like my boyfriend, who was a triathlete, and I said I needed someone who understood me. He didn't actually use the word Chad. None of us were even speaking English, as a matter of fact. This was all in my language, of course, but it had basically the same meaning. When I didn't respond to his question and just asked him to move, he said he'd only let me go if I gave him a hug. Hug the sewer vampire. Oh, God. This 33-year-old, over 6 foot tall man was blocking my way out. Boyfriend was nowhere in sight, and I was scared. So I did what the neckbeard asked. I gave him a quick hug and took the opportunity to turn him while hugging so I could quickly get out. That is a big brain move right there. That one little trick could have saved you from something far worse, man. I left feeling uncomfortable, but also guilty, because boyfriend had told me he was just a lonely, very nice guy. Nice guy indeed. So I must have just been overreacting, right? I wasn't. I was going to tell the entire story in one go, but this is getting long, so I'll leave it at that for now. If there's interest in the sequel, I'll post a part 2. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk and listening to my ramblings. Well, I'm definitely eager to see the fallout of this one, so yeah, part 2 is up. Let's jump right into it. Go for it. The Tale of Game Shop Beard, Part 2, The Creepening. Hey everyone, it's me again. I had a few responses to my post, which was more than incentive enough for me to continue the story of creepiness and slight annoyance. I guess I could see slight annoyance in the moment, but oh my God, looking back, I would be completely horrified. This is such a bad situation. I know my story may not be as dark, thank God, or as substantial as some of the ones posted on here, but it does have some good cringe. And isn't that why we are all here? Oh, OP gets me. It's not even necessarily 100% about the neckbeard cringe. Just any way that I can get my cringe brings me a lot of joy. Although this past month has been just solid beards the entire time, I'll mix some other stuff in next month. Anyways, I have some stories of a beard I work with at the moment who is more than just cringe, and who my female colleagues and I have been trying to get fired for over 3 years now. Oh, tut, we'll get into that one eventually. But given the fact that women have been trying for over 30 years, I'm afraid it probably won't come to much. I have so many stories about this serial creep, from him blocking me into a corner and pulling his pants down. What? Holy God. Well, at least I know what I'm getting into again. To him asking a colleague of mine if her 12-year-old son masturbated. Oh my God. At a certain point, getting fired is nowhere near enough. I bet we could crowdfund something nice, you know, get a little pot together, hand it over to a mysterious stranger just to make sure that this guy has an unfortunate accident. Because that is bad. Not the worst I've seen, but definitely bordering on the worst. Holy God. If there's any interest in this neckbeard cringe, I will most indubitably oblige. And the posts are up, and now I'm fucking terrified to read them. I'm sure we'll get into it at some point. Jesus. Anywho, on to the story. The cast list. Our OP, a 16-year-old girl who looks like a 12-year-old girl that fell into a tub of manga and anime. We've got Game Shop Beard, the 33-year-old creep who was the slight annoyance of my existence. 6 feet tall, extremely thin, balding, and generally looked like a reject from the Walking Dead zombie cast. I forgot to mention this in the last story, but this mummy had a very thin face, but with a weirdly shaped big skull, which made his balding even more prominent, like a giant mushroom with some pubic hair attached to the top. That paints a picture. leathery skin that the sun doth not dare look upon, and a scent that made a garbage dump blush. Lolly extraordinaire. Technically, the little cartoon girls they chases around, them's are the lollies. He would be a lolicon, which I think is for like lolly consumer or something like that. Probably said lolly too much. This video is gonna get demonetized. Well, we fucked it up. Oh, I said the F word now. God damn it. All right, hold it back. Just a little left to go. So we left off last time with me leaving the house feeling uncomfortable, but also feeling like I was maybe making a big deal out of nothing. A lot of people in the comments asked me why I didn't report him or tell anyone, and the response to that is a less than happy answer. Starting in middle school, I was bullied. A lot. When I was 12, people thought I was like 7 to 9 years old. I was very small, very nerdy with big glasses and interests that my classmates didn't have. See, I went to a very free-spirited school where they focused on nature and everything natural, and I was a computer geek. I was one of 2 people in a class of 30 that had a computer. This was in the early 2000s, not 1990, but hey, I just didn't fit in. And they did not let me forget it. So much for that whole free spirit thing, right? We just want you to be yourself as long as you're being yourself like everyone else around you. Okay then. I have psychological and physical scars from this time. By the time I was 15, I had created a shell that kept the bullies at a distance. I went full anime girl. They might have found me annoying and weird, but with my loud, obnoxious attitude and clothes, at least they left me alone. Huh. Somebody get the Beardonomicon out. We need to add this information to the Legbeard entries. Fascinating stuff. The anime culture also brought friends. For the first time since elementary, I had people who actually liked me. Were they cringy and socially awkward? Absolutely. Was I? Definitely. So when this man cornered me and demanded a hug, I just did it. I was terrified of having people not like me, so I just didn't say no. The day after I left, I got a text on my phone from him. Ah, here we go. That's a can of worms that you can't put the monkeys back in. Or something like that. He had asked my boyfriend for my number, and my boyfriend just gave it to him. For the love of put your picture here. So Beard sent me text after text after text telling me, "Good morning, good night, m'lady." Yes, I actually got m'ladies almost daily, asking me what I'm doing, sending me names of animes, asking what I would cosplay. And of course, as the hooks were sunk deeper in, his messages became more personal. Personal information about him and his feelings. He often told me how connected he felt to me, how I was the only one that understood him. He told me I was the only one that kept him from killing himself, and very often told me that he wanted to call me. Chasing around underage girls, suicide baiting, oh boy, what a keeper. I really do hope he has an unfortunate accident. I'm not gonna finance it, but I will hope for it. This went on and on and on. I never did call him. I knew how to say no at least a little bit, but I was worried for him, and I was scared that if I stopped replying, he might actually hurt himself. Oy. My boyfriend and I broke up a little while after. Now, quick reminder that Beard and boyfriend were best friends. So this lolly-loving, sewage-breathing corpse had been texting and very much flirting / grooming his best friend's girlfriend. I don't even have the words for that, man. What the hell? That's the words I choose. So the day after me and my boyfriend broke up, Neckbeard sent me a message. He told me he had never met someone like me, and that I was an amazing person, blah, 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 etc. And that he wanted to take me to a Japanese restaurant. Little naive me did not see anything wrong with that. Just friends eating, right? It didn't occur to me that he was asking me on a date. Luckily for me, however, I got this message when I was with my mom, and when I told her about the text, the alarm bells that seemed to be lacking in my own head went off in hers. She honestly had to explain to me why this was inappropriate and why I should definitely decline. So I did. I sent him a message explaining that though I was flattered, I felt our 17-year age difference was an issue for me. And I didn't feel comfortable meeting him. This Nosferatu incarnate went from neckbeard to full nice guy in 0.2 seconds, as we would expect. I'm not gonna knock age gap relationships too hard, because I've caught some flack for that in the past. I know that it ain't for me, personally, but there are some other people out there that make it work, so the difference here is that OP is underage, so what the hell, stay away. Like, we know full well his motivations just from having his room described to us, right? God, what a creep. He responded by saying, he just asked me out as a friend. That he just thought we were both Japan lovers and wanted to hang out with me. He now realized, however, that I was a self-involved bitch that thought the world lay at my feet, and that I didn't deserve his friendship. He was too good for me, and I was just like every other vag in his life. No one ever gave him the time of day, and women only wanted jacked guys. He hoped I lived a miserable life, etc., etc., etc. Oh, how are they all cut from the same cloth, man? It always goes the same way, and it it has a magical quality about it that just makes it never get old to me. I love to see the devolution every single time. Perfect. After this glorious tirade, he blocked my number so I couldn't respond. I was too afraid to see him face to face again, so I just let my sibling do the buying for me at the game shop for a few years after that. I did go back some years later when I finally developed a spine and cared less about what people thought about me. That's right, wipe your butt with that social contract. Who cares? Most neckbeards are way too awkward to say any of this shit in person anyways. If he was working there, he just long-legged it to the back of the store. See? Hiding behind the employee door until I left. Now and then I would see his giant head stick out through the door opening, and then quickly disappear again after he saw that, oh, I wasn't gone yet. I've since moved, and I haven't been back there in a few years, but now and then, I do wonder if he ever found the Japanese lolly of his dreams. I truly, from the bottom of my heart, hope that he hasn't. Yeah, you and me both. TLDR, Neckbeard asked me out one day after I break up with his best friend, goes full nice guy after I say no. Hope you guys enjoyed this story. Please give me some feedback on my writing style. English isn't my first language. Also, if you guys are interested in hearing the tales of my neckbeard colleague, please let me know. Thank you for indulging me, and until next time. Maybe. But definitely, because I know you've written more, and I'm definitely going to jump into it. Your writing style overall is delicious. The only feedback that I can really say is spell check. But that's just for like awkward words like occur and definitely, which is really the only thing that stuck out to me. Your mastery of the English language is astonishing for it to be your second language. I will say that much. So thank you so much for sharing, and I can't wait to jump into your next stories a little later down the road here. We got some other stuff to get to first. You know, Toilet Beard, he's sitting over there, he's looking at me stinking. Stealth Beard, Leg Beard of my nightmares. But there's room for more series now, and that's always an exciting thing. But anyways, regarding the story, the sympathetic part of me does want to feel bad for him and hope that he finds somebody to complete him, but the truth is, the rational part of my brain says he can't even complete himself. So how is he going to have a two-way relationship where he completes another person? Also, he's a predatory piece of trash. Yes, I hope he dies alone. And I don't feel bad saying it. You get told off by a 16-year-old and your only response is to just slink away into the darkness like the freaking rat that you are. Pathetic, dude. But also OP has to thank her lucky stars that this neckbeard is as pathetic as he is. Because we have seen, you know, girls tell a neckbeard off and then it goes the other way and the neckbeard goes to some extreme measures to get what they want. So luckily this guy, no backbone. He's just like, oh, that's the girl that told me no. He goes and hides in the employee lounge or whatever. Ha! Definitely forever alone, and it is nothing more than what he deserves. But there is always hope for salvation, you know? Maybe if he got everything turned around, started to value himself and develop some interests that were more appropriate, then he might actually stand a chance. But that would require a level of self-realization that I don't think that he has, at least at this time. But things change. People can change. So again, the sympathetic part of my brain wants to insist that he can definitely change. The rational part says he's probably too far gone. Assaulting a 16-year-old in your bedroom? Like, what is wrong with you? And that is assault. It's like a light level of assault, but I'm counting it. You coerced somebody into giving you a hug that they did not want to give you. Somebody underage, nonetheless. Oh, God. And of course, you ruined the local game store for this girl who legitimately did enjoy going. You always just hate to see that. I don't understand either why the boyfriend gave the number to Neckbeard while they were still together. I guess he assumed that they were just going to be good friends. Yeah, I'll introduce this 33-year-old man to my 16-year-old girlfriend. Like, what the actual hell? Dude's always snaking, man. Do not trust another dude around your woman for a minute. We're at the gym the other day talking about building our house. This dude's eavesdropping and shit, jumps in the conversation. He's like, oh, I could help you with it. Just let me friend you on Facebook. Wifey gives me that look like, do not let him friend me on Facebook. So I'm like, yeah, you can add me. Well, guess what? He doesn't add me. He goes and tries to fucking add my wife. So guess what? Ignored. And next time we see him, it's gonna be awkward, but I'll probably just brush it off and be like, oh, I didn't see your friend request. You didn't want to friend me, did ya? You wanted to friend my wife instead, did ya? Well, too bad, bro. You don't stand a chance. Look at me. Look at you. Look at me. Look at you. Now look at me. Now look at you. Not to be a dick about it, but I mean, come on. Then again, maybe all that just comes with age. You get a little older, you get a little wiser. But this 33-year-old definitely should be older and wiser than he is. What the actual hell? Way too far gone, so yeah, enjoy your forever alone. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Haha, what a segue. If you did, I hope that you like, comment, and or subscribe. Check out them links in the description. There's so many of them, including my social medias. We got that Twitter, Facebook, oh, and Discord. As I mentioned, we are looking for the Discord server banner. So if you're artistic, maybe throw your hat into the ring. I'd definitely appreciate the help. We've also got my Patreon down there and my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons. Look at them all. God damn. I would, of course, like to thank them all, but especially Robert Waits, TSM Kirby, Teddy the Police, Aaron W, Delicious Jelly Donut, Candy Sora, Fire Drake, Liverson, Silent Revolver, Zathras, Zero MMX, Little Lone Wolf, Vanilla Mel, Rouse Dower, Aaron Lennox, Fisher Diggy, OG James Cook, JM Coon, Jerry, John Hero, KK, Miss Monday, Melgar the Destroyer, Mr. J, my boy Nat One Nick, Lady Nix, Katykins Elizabeth, Sidestep, Cider Drinker, Serrated Ass, Siegfried, Staples, Yeet, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tamago, Tato Fair, That Duck and Bug, The One True Fusky, Redwind, Leon Embers, Naga Viper, John Indoors, A-Roxers, Cake Jerry, that's a different Jerry, Mark 211, maybe next time, or Gammy Cam, Princess Rosalie, Ghosty, The Last Shinobi, and the maestro himself, Zuka Cervantes. We also have a new friend joining us today, getting it in right before the end of the month. Gotta love that. So thank you very much, KD Hamilton. I don't want to drop your full name or nothing, because Lord knows I don't want to dox you. Send me a message on Patreon. Let me know what you would like to be called. I'd be happy to do that for you. Obviously, I'd also be happy if anybody else out there could join these lovely people in supporting the channel monetarily. But if you can't do it right now, thanks, Motorcycle. If you can't do it right now, then that's no problem. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow, because really, the views is like how my beard stays buttered, or whatever. In order to join us again, you need to keep yourself safe out there. Wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe watching some old ReddX videos. It's a good idea. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I will see you in the next one. And until then, bye-bye.